Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SATAL 2020. I am your host, Moltar, and we are here again with Gold League, Gryphon Squadron taking on MY Squadron, Krimsk against Guadata. Now, there was an announcement yesterday not pertaining to this match that I have indeed figured out and got working 8 cameras, 8 simultaneous clients in DCS. Now, I'm going to try over the weekend and tomorrow to try and get 12. Maybe 13, because my grandiose goal here, everyone, is that I would like to be able to have access to everyone's first-person camera, their cockpit footage, at the same time. Now, how I'm going to do that, I don't know, because 13 cameras is a lot. I've got 8 working. Like, 8 works, 60 FPS, no problem. I look at my CPU stats and stuff on all my cores. They're not stressed out at all. GPU, I didn't look at yesterday, but I think it's okay. So we got at least 8. I can get at least 8. I'm pretty sure I could add 1 or 2 more. So that would mean that I could get 8 first-person cameras, cockpit footage for Gold League, and then have possibly 1 or 2 other third-person cameras that we could ride along with missiles and stuff. So that is my goal for the weekend. We're not streaming tomorrow because I'm going to be working on this. And then I may have to switch streaming software because I may have to go to something more commercial-esque in order to make this work. OBS is great, but the amount of camera switching and stuff that I'm going to do, it's I don't know that OBS is really facilitated for that. And yeah, I did get a 3090 TFS 81. It did happen. So it is a beast. 24 gigs of VRAM was indeed needed, and it does very, very well. So that happened last night. I got that working. I posted a picture of it. Here's another picture. I think this link works. There's another picture of it actually working. All 8 of those are running simultaneously in the same track. The times aren't synced, because I need to go through with AutoHotkey and get all my scripts and stuff set up. But all of those are going live at the same time at 60 FPS, with all flying at the same time. No issues. So that all works without a problem. I'm going to see if I can add more. I'm not sure if I can. But right now, how I did it is I've got 4 clients of DCS, and then I forced 4 other clients to run as different users, and I'm pretty sure I can get another 4 running as another user, so I would actually be running 3 users on my PC simultaneously to get 12 clients. I think I can do that. We'll have to see if my computer decides to barf and throw itself up. Will it be possible to have cockpit views with the actual head movements? Yes. So, Mago, that's my hope. And today, we're actually going to be riding along with Maximus. And Maximus, in his Su-27 or J-11, we are going to have his head movements. So you guys are going to be able to see that. Yeah. So that's my goal, is in the future, we will be able to utilize head movements. That's why I've set up these private repositories for teams to submit their private tracks so that I can get them, and then I can showcase everybody's first-person views. Now, it causes some problems getting everything synced up and all that jazz, but, you know, we're just going to have to see how I can make it work. The timer, actually, funnily enough, in DCS makes it pretty easy that Bear put in. I can just sync on the timer and get everything synced up. Now, if things get off later, it's difficult to get everything matched up because I can't get, I don't know why, I can't get the bar at the bottom of the window of the first person cockpit view. I can't get the bar to show up to show the in-game time. And if I change views to go to the F10 view, it breaks the first person like camera movement. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. Maybe you guys can look into that. But what I'm looking for, and let me show you. So normally, if we go to this camera, you can see at the bottom that you've got this bar that shows altitude, their name, the in-game time, which is actually behind me. You can see the in-game time, that it's paused, all that stuff. If we go to his first-person camera, there is no bar. So I need to figure out how to get that bar. Supposedly you can, but I can't figure out why I'm not getting it. Now in the mission editor, I've enabled it. I turned it on and I enabled it, but it's still not working. And I've also gone into my options and turned it on, and it's still not working. So I don't know what I'm missing. Supposedly it should be working. I don't know why it's not working. Maybe you can go to the cockpit HUD. It normally has local time. If I move the mouse, I can't interact with that camera at all. I don't know. I can't interact with that camera at all, or it breaks. I can't change the view. I can't do any of that. Eclipse Task Force, or it does not play nicely. Or you lose. It doesn't. It'll still work. You just lose where the person is actually looking. That stops working, and the camera just stops moving. The track still plays, but the camera stops moving. So that happens. But this one works. I've got them all synced up. Hopefully I can keep it in sync the whole time. I really need that bar to facilitate keeping everything in track and in time as things progress. As the match progresses, in case things get out of sync or something. I mean, worst case scenario, today we may get a little out of sync and he may get a little ahead, but, you know, that's just, or behind, that's just what's going to happen. I'm going to try and keep it all intact, but no guarantees for today. I'm going to try and get this better working over the weekend. It's going to be a lot of work. There's some streaming software that I do want to try. We're going to see what I can do. I'm going to have to redo my Stream Deck hotkeys and all that stuff. It's going to be a challenge. Does your Marco to just use one button for every instant pause not work? I have to use it for auto hotkey, and it actually has to move the mouse because the mouse it needs to be an active window to be able to interact with it. And sometimes it doesn't work, or I'll forget to not move my mouse and I'll break it, and it's just fraught with frustration. There's no perfect way to do this because I'm just farting along and trying to figure out ways to make this work for all of you guys. That's all I'm trying to do. Anyway, enough about that. I'm going to send you guys through the ad roll. Then we're going to see a fan video because there's no supercut today. Alpha Whiskey had internet issues, so there's no supercut today, so we're going to watch a fan video. And then we will be back. Guadada versus Krimsk. Gryphon Squadron against my squadron. The flankers are back, baby. I think there's one flanker per team. MY Squadron doesn't look like well, I guess there's not a flanker per team. There's actually two flankers for Gryphon Squadron. There's two flankers and two 14s for Gryphon Squadron, and then three 16s and an 18 for MY Squadron. So a little bit of an interesting one. And this is gold. This is Gold League. 4v4 coming at you. Guadada against Krimsk. So let's go through that ad roll. Let's check out the fan video. This one's done by Reese Caparzo. He flies for Toro Squadron. I will see you guys back here in just a minute.
The night beckons over a dream. Alive, now the lips are clear. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am just getting some stuff synced up, waiting on some cameras here to get synced up. We are going to be, oh no. Okay, I didn't break it. I thought I broke it. I thought I broke the first-person camera, but I didn't. So we are going to be riding along with Maximus today. Hopefully Moltar doesn't royally screw something up and we lose that camera. But we are going to be riding along with him today. Hopefully it stays working. That is my hope here, at least. So his camera should be working. I hope. Maximus, please move your head. Please. Please move your head. Move! Okay. Okay, it works. I get a little concerned there, making sure it works. I updated the quad view, so we've got tac view now in the middle. Hopefully it's not too intrusive. I updated split screens. We've got tac view in there as well, because I thought, watching some of these replays back, that not having tac view and not having the overall picture of everything kind of sucked. It was not fun. I felt like we were missing out on some stuff. So I added it into quad view. I added it into split screen. Obviously in Tri we have the tac view in the bottom right corner, so that's not a problem. But I did add it there. Okay, so I need to, where is my mouse? There is my mouse. Let's talk about who's flying today. So, MY Squadron, we have Freak, Grand Viz, Mwazer, and Macon 84 flying for MY, and they are in 316s and an F-18. And then over on Gryphon Squadron, we have Maximus, who we are showcasing in his first-person view. Tax Dollars at Work, Phantom, and Jerk, two JF-17s, or not JF-17s, J-11s, and then two Tomcats. This is Weapon Restriction B, which means no 120Cs, so no Charlie variants, and no Mark 60s. Now I'm going to assume that home team, well, I'm not assuming, I know, home team is Gryphon Squadron. I'm pretty sure they chose B weapon restriction to give the flankers more of an even keel, an even playing field to take on the NATO-esque fighters in the 16 and the 18 coming from MY Squadron. So I think that's a smart move. Gryphon Squadron is definitely one of the guys or one of the teams that likes the flanker. We're going to have to see if they're able to make it effective. We are riding along with one of them, the J11 of Maximus, right here, for anybody that just joined us. We are going to be able to see him. He is just looking at tax dollars. I saw his camera move. Hopefully it didn't break. But we are riding along with him. And flanker is indeed hot. The flanker is one of the best looking aircraft, in my opinion, ever made. It just has these curvy lines and it just looks so good. But you know, she's thick. She's a big girl, as Chopsticks Gaming Channel just said. But you know, you gotta like that badonkadonk. I mean, look at this thing. Look at that butt. It just looks so good. Looks so good. And Maximus's camera is not broken. I don't know that Maximus uses track IR. Maybe he flies with a mouse. That is crazy. Does he really? That's nuts if he does. It doesn't look like he's flying with track IR or anything, just based on the head movement. Anyway, let's watch these guys depart. They're leaving. We can see MY Freak leading the way for MY Squadron, followed closely by Grand Viz, and then we can see Maximus trailing with tax dollars at work, taking off. I think they're going to be taking off from Godada, yeah. We can see from Maximus's first-person view that they are indeed next to the mountains as Krimsky's out towards the flatlands, so they are going to be departing. Now, heads up, this is a first-person camera, so we are going to hear the radio messages and all of that stuff going on. That's what we're hearing right now from Maximus's first-person view. That's where all that's coming from. But maybe hat switch, Mago. That's definitely true. Multi, you're all about that yanker. Dude, the flanker is just... I have several thousand hours in the flanker. I do. And Navy Doc brings up a good point that I think this is a very good combination between the flanker and the 14, because the 14, the Tomcat, has got the reach. It's got those long arms with those claws, with those big-ass telephone poles that it can smack you around with, right? Then the flanker has Erst. It can get in there unseen, You don't know it there. It's there, unbeknownst to you. It's sitting there, trailing you, just thinking about when it wants to poke you in the butt. Just boop, 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 and just poke you in the no-no spot. That's what I think it's a great combination, as long as they can be aggressive with the flankers. On MY's side, if we flip over to them, wrong button. If we flip over to MY, they have a lot of 16s. So the 16 is also very good at being aggressive. It's got the 120s, in this case the 120 Bravos, which, you know, they're not as good as the Charlies. I think they're more on an even keel with the 27 ER and the 77, but it is also a very good brawler. Now, I don't think it wants to get into a merge with the Su-27, because I think the Su-27 with its flight system relax button or system, and if you really want to get on it, the Cobra switch can, with a competent pilot, eat the 16's lunch in its current form. I think the 16 needs some help at lower speeds, but it's still capable. We'll have to see if it's how that shakes out. Are we going to see merges? God, I hope so. We haven't seen a merge in a while. R-77 off-bore sight is definitely insane. The R-77's turn ability is crazy for a radar-guided missile. Now, its cone is itty-bitty-bitty-bitty. But if you get a head-on shot with an R-77, oh boy. That thing's ability to turn, it's so good. Now, the 120B is decent, but an R-77, it is not. So will that come into play? Let's check out, while we're talking about the R-77 and stuff, what are the flanker boys carrying? They've got 2 R-77s, 4 ERs, and 4 73s. No ETs. I like that move. I don't think the ET personally is very effective in SATAL. It's too easy to dodge. It's so easy to see. And we don't see many kills from it unless people are flying headlong into it. And at that point, you know, you could have launched an R-73 and just had it barrel in and glide. It becomes a glide bomb, but if they're not maneuvering, it doesn't really matter. So I like the choice to take R-77s instead of the ET. It's definitely chopsticks. It is definitely an effective missile on public play. And I don't think it necessarily has to do with the quality of the pilots. I think, personally, it might have to do with there's a lot more going on in public play, right? There's a lot of stuff. There's people everywhere, you know, there's people at different altitudes, and a lot of times I think the ER or the ET being launched can just get missed. The full fidelity aircraft have a very low IR signature. ET can lock. That is true, MigMaster. That is true. That is very true. However, the F-16, the ET doesn't like to let go of the F-16. It likes to keep a lock on it from when I've flew several months ago. That's from what I've noticed. It likes to keep a lock on it. But they're very easy to see, and they bleed airspeed very, very quickly. So a lot of times you see it, as long as you're not within, 5 kilometers, you can just turn around. It's not going to hit you. It runs out of energy too fast. So that's, I think, a big part of it. But are we going to see the flankers and the Tomcats be effective, or are we going to see NATO, the all-NATO side, prevail? The 2 flankers have more ordnance than the 316s. They've got 10 missiles apiece. Yeah, they got a lot. And so 20 missiles between the 2, and the F-16s have 18. Yeah, that's a good point, Silver Phoenix. The flankers carry all the things. All the things. F-16 burner is easy to lock onto, but outside burner, that is true. That is true. But I guess what I'm saying, Master, is that the 16 in burner is easy to see, but if the ET gets launched on you, even if you come out of burner, it seems like it doesn't want to let go of you after it comes off the aircraft. You're definitely virtually invisible if the missile hasn't been launched and you're not in gate, from what I've seen. And this is just personal observations. Again, I could be wrong. These are just what I've seen. But it seems like after it's launched, even when you come out of burner, it just doesn't want to unlock your aircraft, if you will. Quick shout out to Monk for the gifted sub and 100 bits. Thank you very much, brother. Getting us started off right. That's going into paying my wife back for the 3090. I don't know why she let me buy that. I got lucky though, and this guy, when I was buying it, and these guys have a little bit more to ingress. We can check out the tac view here. This guy evidently camped for like 2 or 3 weeks at my local micro center. I have no idea why you would want to do that. No clue. Not a clue in the world why you would want to do that, but he did. And, you know, his work came to my benefit. He decided he didn't want it, and I took advantage of it and bought it for MSRP. Kerr dead. What league is this? This is Gold League. Silver Phoenix. Flankers also have a huge internal fuel, so if they are cautious with burner, they could run the F-16. That is true. However, that's a double-edged sword. They don't have a way to jettison fuel tanks. Yes, they can dump fuel, but the problem with it is if they get into a fight and they're too heavy, they lose a lot of maneuverability and a lot of those degrees per second in the turn fights. So in the flanker, it's very crucial, very critical to come in and bleed and dump a lot of that fuel or utilize a lot of that fuel early. Another problem that you can run into is if you use that flight system or control system relax switch, if you're too aggressive and you're too fast and your plane is too heavy, you'll just rip the wings right off your aircraft. So you got to be really cautious and cognizant of how heavy your aircraft is before you really start putting the pedal to the metal. Because if you're too heavy, man, those wings just say, see you later. And for those of you that don't know, wings are really critical to flight. If you don't have them, you kind of turn into a rock. So anyway, these guys are coming into the first pass, coming through merge, and they are 40 miles apart. Now, we do have Tomcats, so things could be different. We didn't have Tomcats yesterday. These guys are carrying the Phoenix. Phantom and Jerk are both in Tomcats. They are leading the way for Gryphon Squadron. Now, something I've noticed is that Maximus is not showing up on the TAC view. So take that with a grain of salt, guys. Maximus is not on the TAC view. For what reason, I do not know, but he is not here. So just be aware of that he's not here. So we got to keep track of what's going on with him in the actual sim. Now, AIM 7 being launched from Jerk. I can get behind that. Launches an AIM 7 to hold one of his Phoenixes from long range. I actually can dig that. I'm all behind that. AIM 7 launched. You're getting Freak to come down from altitude. He came down from 30,000 feet or so. Phantom, meanwhile, God, bubbles in my stomach coming up. I'm trying to not put that in the microphone. But you got Freak to bleed all of his altitude just with an AIM 7 that's probably not going to be effective anyway. And good utilization there because you can only take 4 Phoenix. So utilizing an AIM 7 as your long-range missile to spoof, hey, look, you may have a Phoenix at you. I like that decision. And this AIM 54 coming from Phantom looks like it may be coming on Mauser or Mwazer. Let's grab it and see. Oh, that one. Okay, so here it comes. Bleep. So here's the missile, and it actually... oh, nope. There's its aneurysm, and it's coming down from altitude 6 miles away from its intended target. It actually looks like it's on Macon. 1,000 knots, and she is donezo. That thing's not going to track anyone. Okay, so those AIM 54s and that AIM 7. Macon didn't even really have to do anything. Well, he is now. He is now, but it's not tracking. So he defended late, but it was so slow that it wasn't able to maneuver or be effective in any way, shape, or form or manner. So again, word of warning, Maximus is not on the TAC view. Just heads up, he's not here. Okay, so just be aware, Maximus is not on the TAC view for I don't know what reason, but he's not here. So, carrying on. AIM 7 was launched from Wazer. That thing is it's a glide bomb at this point. Let's see what it's doing. It's at 0.7 Mach. And there she is, falling to Earth like a rock. Well, not really like a rock. It's maintaining its energy at 400 knots pretty well. But a farmer or a cow may have a bad time as that it's going to impact the ground here rather soon. Ninja Squirrel technology for North Korea. Boom. So nothing really going on. Both teams being very patient. There's the AIM-7 still that was launched by Jerk, just floating around. And that AIM-54 is still giving Macon a hard time. It's still up there at 10,000 feet, still following his butt around. And he's flying in circles, dogfighting with that AIM-54. Not sure where Maximus is. Maximus is just north of Phantom, so he's up here. Maximus is right here. He's just not on TAC view, but he's right there. So we can use the map. Here's the map. So Maximus is right there, just north of Phantom. He's leading the way. It looks like they're operating in the 2-2 ship element. The J-11s are together, the F-14s are together, and as the J-11s depart from the battle area, the F-14s come in. So not hugely aggressive yet. I think we are going to see fairly aggressive flying from the flankers as this match continues to unfold. But nothing so far. We saw a couple missiles come off. AIM-7 that's just flying through the line of MY Squadron. The AIM-54 that was launched from Phantom wasn't really effective. But will that lull them to sleep? How do they decide on which planes to pick? It's up to them. Whatever they feel is pertinent to the situation or whatever they feel they're comfortable flying. Maximus is a flanker bro. He loves the flanker. Loves the flanker. And he's been an adamant voice, and a very vocal voice, in trying to get me to remove the 120C to make the flanker more effective. Which he has somewhat of a point, but I do like the teams being able to dictate a bit of how the match is going to fly, having a way to choose their weapon restriction. Navy Doc, are these teams flying with the up-to-date patch? This match was flown on January 9th. This one is kind of an anomaly because it was supposed to be flown late November, but they postponed it, so I thought we'd grab it. So this one is latest patch. This was flown last Saturday, as Jerk says. But after this match, we're going to go back in the past again. I was just catching this one up because I had said when we were going to fly it, and then it wasn't flown, so I just grabbed it after they flew it, and that's where we are. AIM-54 now coming off from Jerk, and that's got some potential. That is from 18 miles. Okay, so here it is, coming in towards its target, and Jerk's got to be careful. Macon's got to be careful. Macon is at 0.75 Mach at 23,000 feet. I am worried. Macon. Macon, you've got to do something. I don't think he's got the missile warning yet. He's got to be getting it right about now. Still not defending. Well, he's defending now, but by this point, I think it's too late. Missile's still at 1,500 knots, and Macon, I think, is about to get railroaded up the backside by a major explosive, and he gets taken down by the telephone pole, and Macon is the first casualty of the day. He got taken down, and now we're wrong view. It went to Maximus's view. But Macon got taken down and got entered and blew up. And he is the first casualty. Jerk responsible for that one. Now 120 coming from Wazer. Phantom unleashing another AIM-54. This one, who's that one on? That one looks like it's on Wazer, I think. So let's grab Wazer's perspective. Here's Wazer, and the AIM-54 is going to be on his right. Where is she? It's going to be back there. It's going to be about co-altitude. There it is. And we can see it coming off a burner. Oh, little bit of desync. Little bit of desync there, but, you know, it's AIM-54. What can you do? It's part of DCS. The AIM-54 is in a better place than it was, but the desynced invisible telephone pole takes another casualty. And let's pause and catch up of what's been going on. And I got 2 pauses. I didn't get... Okay. So Maximus may be a little bit out. Let me grab and push these guys forward here a little bit. Just fixing some cameras, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So let's take stock in what has happened and what is about to transpire. Remember, Maximus is not showing up on tac view. Okay, so Maximus in his current position is right next to Phantom. Okay, so Phantom's here, Maximus is right here. So on the tac view, just Maximus is right next to Phantom. Now Maximus is westerly heading, Phantom is easterly. There are still 4 pilots remaining for Gryphon Squadron, not 3. So just be aware that is going on. Grand Viz and Freak are the only ones remaining. But let's back up and see what happened with these 2 casualties. So Macon, I think they just got reluctant, or not reluctant, but I don't know what the word, we'll say reluctant, and got too close to Tomcats not being fast enough or low enough, really in a good defensive position to be able to defend properly. Macon got caught with his pants down against an AIM-54 from a Tomcat that was inside 20 miles. Mago, I don't know why he's not showing up on TAC View. I have no idea. Not really sure. He's just not. So he just gets run down by this freight train of a telephone pole, doesn't defend till too late. He's too high to defend properly. He's not fast enough to bleed the missile out of energy, and he just gets taken to Pound Town. So he gets taken down. Then Wazer, the exact same thing happens. This missile gets launched from inside 15 miles. I think Wazer got complacent, thought, hey, I can stand off against the big bad telephone pole with my baby Lincoln log and make something happen. He tries to pull a 120 out on Phantom. Phantom's like, what is that? And launches a bigger missile, a bigger bro, at Wazer. Wazer then gets taken to Pound Town. He does a better job of defending, but he doesn't commit to it. I mean, it looks like he's jumping into the notch, and then he breaks out of it, starts to go into a descent, but he's not fast enough to be able to out-energy anything, and just gets smashed. So that takes us to the current position of the match, 2v4 now, and Gryphon Squadron is totally in the driver's seat right now, ladies and gentlemen. They are 2 pilots up. They've got 2 Tomcats with 5 missiles remaining, right? So they have all of the advantage. They've got the range, they've got the brawlers in the J11s. It's their match to lose at this point, all right? So what is going to happen? Is MY Squadron, MY Squadron are totally capable of being able to make something happen. They have great pilots, but will they be able to do something? So let's jump in, let's find out, let's hit play. Here we go. Okay, so back to the TAC view, seeing what's going on. Looks like Gryphon Squadron is regrouping. MY Squadron could be a bit more aggressive, but they need to respect the Tomcats. Everybody from Gryphon Squadron is cold at this moment. Looks like now Tax Dollars is coming back in hot. Maximus is hot with him. So Maximus, they are in a 2-ship formation. I'll show you this. Maximus, they are in a 2-short formation. They are separated by about 10 miles in a tactical spread, so not bad. Maximus is coming in against Grand Viz. I just saw a 120 get launched from Grand Viz. Jump back to the TAC view so we can see it. And that 120 is not tracking anybody because it is immediately unsupported. There is an ER now coming at Grand Viz, and actually, Maximus is having to defend. So jumping to Maximus's view, he's having to defend an incoming 120 that's going to be on his right. He's getting the missile warning. Missile is about 2/3 of the way through his RWR, which means it's a few miles away still. He just dipped his wings, so he didn't get the missile warning for anybody wondering. When you dip your wings like that, the missile is now outside of your scan cone, so you got to make sure, and it's really easy to learn in the flanker, you got to make sure that you're putting the missile on a level plane with your wings to make sure that it's being detected by your RWR. So he did that. He got the missile warning. He's recognizing now that the missile's probably out of energy, and he is now recommitting. Tax Dollars at Work is now head-to-head with Freak. Maximus is down here with the 120. But Tax Dollars at Work is being hugely aggressive. Everyone now for Gryphon Squadron is hot. Are we going to see a shot from tax dollars that works? Looks like we might. Jerk now unleashing an AIM 54. Deadly AIM 54s as those are coming from inside 15 miles. We see another one coming from Phantom. Where'd it go? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't see it. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. I don't see it. But it did take off. So there is an AIM 54 going from Phantom. That one looks like it's on Freak. The one from Jerk looks like it's on Grand Viz. And I don't think either of these are... Nope. The one for Grand Viz went into the ground, and the one coming on Freak, I don't know if it's going to have enough energy. Let's ride along with it and see if we can see what it's going to do. So here it is. Here comes the AIM 54 from from Phantom coming on to Freak. And that's going to get run out of energy. But the one I think we need to watch is there was another one launched from Phantom. This one's coming in onto Grand Viz. And this one, I think, has a lot more potential. It's still under power, 2,000 knots, 20,000 feet. And Grand Viz is high. Grand Viz is in a lot of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. He's not defending very aggressively, and I think he is going to be the next casualty. And the Tomcats are just wrecking house right now, ladies and gentlemen. They are making things happen. But now the guy to watch is Maximus as he ingresses against Freak. Maximus has the 6 of Freak as he comes in here. Freak is in full retreat from Maximus. Low in his F-16. Freak is at, let's zoom in here so you guys can get a better view. Freak is at 1,500 feet low, and Maximus, I think, is just going to be able to run him down. AIM 54 launched from Jerk. Maximus is much closer than both of those guys. Maximus is 6 miles behind Freak and continuing to run him down. He's recognizing now that Freak is recommitting. Launched an R-77 at Freak. So there it goes. Let's jump to Freak's perspective now and see what's going to happen there. Where's the R-77? It's coming right there, and Freak gets taken down. Great press from Maximus, recognizing he gets tons of ordnance out, then recognizes that Freak is recommitting, puts a missile that he doesn't have to support out there onto him, and Freak is the last takedown for Gryphon Squadron, and my squadron has no pilots left. Wow. Once things got started in that one, it was nonstop. Non-stop. Great, great flying from these guys. Everyone involved. And hopefully did you guys like the first-person perspective? I liked it. I don't think he tried a barrel roll. I think he went inverted to breakaway Eclipse. I don't think he didn't get launched on either. He was getting away. He was diving. Well, we can back up on the TAC view and actually take a look at it. So let's back. Well, no, we can't. Because Maximus doesn't exist on this TAC view. And neither do his missiles. But he's in there somewhere. He is in there somewhere, though I don't know where. And it may have to do with the reason he's not showing up on the TAC view is because this is actually the third-person tracks that we're getting from all the other views that aren't Maximus's first-person view are his first-person tracks, so that may be very well why he's not showing up on the TAC view. Would be my guess. Would be my guess. Now, I don't know why this button is not working. Oh, it is. Oh, they didn't have to land. Okay. So let's jump back here. Guys, what'd you think? First-person views, they win. They're a little bit harder to keep track of and keep everything going, but I think they're worth it. Because being able to see Maximus come in there and fly into... and run down Freak, I think, is really cool. You're reliving the moment with them, and I think it's really cool. So, Gryphon Squadron able to take it 4-0 over MY Squadron there in round 1. Will MY be able to come back? They've got the ability to do it. They have the pilots to be able to do it. They have the aircraft to be able to do it. But those Tomcats are a force to be reckoned with. Will they be able to make something happen? We'll have to find out right after this.
seconds of a dream. Alive, now the lives are clear. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums roar. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door. Take up the cause.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try something a bit different. I'm going to do a split screen. If I can find his jet. That's not him. That's not him either. Well, he doesn't even show up in this track. Well, we're going to get rid of that camera because he ain't there. So never mind. I'm not going to try something different because his jet doesn't show up in that camera because it's doing some weird stuff. We'll just roll with him up here. So here goes Maximus, trailing departure for Gryphon Squadron. Is MY going to be able to come back here? Are they going to be able to make something happen? That I do not know. I had to shut down camera 1 because the track was out of sync. Hopefully the other ones are in sync. Let's check this one. Yeah, that one is too. Wonder why camera 1 wasn't working. But anyway. What do you guys think is going to happen here? Do you think MY is going to be able to come back? Gordo B, thank you for the gifted sub to Hera Missy. Much appreciated. And thank you for the prime sub, Dirk Pitt 45. Welcome. Silver Phoenix says the AIM-54s are behaving like real AIM-54s. Well, I mean, that's kind of subjective because we really don't know what the real AIM-54 behaved like. And they still have desync problems. So I don't really know. And I don't know that anybody really knows. Or most people here in the sim really know. I think we can make our best assumption on how they're supposed to perform. How they used to perform with Magic INS definitely wasn't how they should be performing. And their aneurysm that they had when in terminal guidance probably wasn't how they should be performing either. At least that's what I think. These guys have a little bit of an ingress. Oh no, we lost our TAC view. So I'm going to just open this TAC view. Because camera 1 was our TAC view driver. So I need to just open one. And sync us up. So we are at 22. Okay, there we go. So we should be pretty close to synced up now. Why are you... Did I not close one of them? Oh. No, it's this one. There we go. Now you're all synced up. Sorry. Love watching this. I wish you would add some SAMs to points to fuck with people. Maybe, but this is supposed to be about more... who's the best air-to-air pilot. And there may be events in the future where SAMs become a thing, but I don't know that I want to have the randomization element impacting who the best pilots are. I mean, it's something we may be able to do, but we'll just have to see. That's a good thought, Kerdead. I'm not opposed to it. It just gets really difficult with the tools that we have available here inside of DCS to be possible. Silver Phoenix, do you think that aneurysm is more ED than anybody else? Oh, yeah, it definitely is. I think they got it fixed, supposedly, but I haven't flown in a couple months and probably won't fly for another couple months till I can get my pit situation worked out. So I don't know. S300 to bullseye. Just put big ol' missile systems right in the middle of the AO. Big old pancake radars. These guys still have quite a bit of ways to ingress. Still 143 mile or 100 miles roundabouts between these two forces. MY Squadron's on the back foot. They're definitely on the back foot. If they're able to pull this win off, I think they're going to be in great shape to win round 3. If they're able to do it. Round 2 victors, I think, have a huge benefit and a huge advantage going into round 3 with morale boost and just adrenaline and all this stuff that goes into you after a win. Gryphon Squadron, on the other hand, right now has everything to their advantage here in round 2. They've got the bigger boomsticks, they've got the longer boomsticks, they've got the better dogfighter in close. How is this going to shake out? Is MY going to be able to overcome all of that? And by the way, guys, since this is not a real-time telemetry track, we do have Maximus going on right now. Spawn SAMs behind people as they ingress so they stop. But I think, retreating, tactical retreating, and regrouping is part of air combat, whether we want to admit it or not. Most, from what I understand, real air fights are not as aggressive as we see them in DCS unfolding because, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you die in real life, you're actually dead and you don't come back to life. So it's a downside of dying, is you're dead. Separation between the two teams is now down to 85 miles. We're closing in on Phoenix distance here. Gryphon Squadron did a great job of utilizing that Phoenix here in round 1. Are we going to see the same level of utilization here in round 2? It's going to be hard. But Gryphon Squadron as a whole was very, very patient with their stores utilization. They weren't just unloading missiles like missile trucks as they were ingressing. Their F-14s did a great job not just being the Oprah of missiles, saying you get one, you get one. Jerk did a great job of utilizing that AIM-7 instead of an AIM-54, just spoof that AIM-54 launch. It was just a showcase of being patient so that you have weapons available late in the game. I mean, when we saw Maximus running down Freak, look at all the weapons he was able to utilize because of all the weapons he still had on his aircraft. Yes, the flanker carries a bunch of them, but I still think they did a great job of not launching a bunch of stuff. Now, MY Squadron, I don't really remember. They need to be a little bit more aware because their F-16s, they only carry 6 missiles apiece, so they've got to be ultra aware of how often they're utilizing their missiles. Looks like Gryphon Squadron's Maximus is being locked by somebody about 100 kilometers in front of him, somewhere off to his 10 o'clock, or 2 o'clock, excuse me. Half of the RWR ring on that is about 100 kilometers, if anybody's wondering. So roundabout's 45 miles, which, yeah, no, that doesn't make sense at all. I'm totally wrong. It's about 120 kilometers, I think. Well, actually, it depends on the emitter. I'm thinking F-15, J-11 radars and stuff. I don't know what the F-16 is because I've never flown the flanker against an F-16, so I don't know what its emitter strength is going to be. Gotta admit, the first-person view is very cool. It is nice to have. My goal here is to have way more of these so that we can ride along with every aircraft. And honestly, be able to ride along with the pilots more than we ride along in third person. That is my goal, to have TAC view and first-person views. That would be my end goal. That's what I want. Maybe have one camera that I can dictate for missile views and stuff like that, but, you know, my goal is to have first-person views and TAC view. I think that would be the perfect combination of being able to see things, have information available. Quad view dogfight, 2 cockpits. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. So maybe you're right. 2 external views would be cool. It's just hard to juggle because your brain's got to keep track of so much stuff at the same time. It's hard not to miss things. Silver Phoenix says the 6900 XT came in stock, was gone in 15 seconds. Yeah, that's why I gave up buying from retailer and went to Reddit on Hardware Swap and still got one from MSRP. The retailers are price gouging now. But back to the match. So back to TAC view so you guys can see. Phantom is now unleashing an AIM-54. That, I don't know who that's on yet. Well, is it unsupported? It may still be supported. It's right off that edge of where his radar beam could be. Can't tell. Looks like it's on Grand Viz out on the right flank of MY Squadron's formation. So Grand Viz is sitting over here. Here's Grand Viz's. Here's Grand Viz's perspective. Boom. And that missile is going to be just... no, it's still tracking him. And it is above him slightly. There it is. So it's slowly coming in on him. Mach 1.6. He should be defending now. There he goes. Vapor going over the wings. Does he have a center line? No, that's gone. Dump some chaff. In this situation, you really don't need to be dumping chaff for countermeasures. Just run away. Missile doesn't have the energy to be able to keep up with you. You're just expending countermeasures that you don't need to be expending. And now I think he's realizing possibly that missile's trashed. I can recommit and still be aggressive. So just don't use countermeasures if you don't have to, right? You're just expending things that you may want to be able to utilize later. And countermeasures later in the matches are they're nice to have. I can see how managing all these cameras can wear you out. Dude, it's exhausting. It is exhausting to be able to manage all this stuff. I mean, even without a brain injury, I can imagine this would be exhausting. But after I'm done with this, I'm dead. It is hard. But as a pilot, how can you tell how fast the missile is tracking? Ideally, you want to try and spot it visually. The other thing you can gauge on RWRs like the F-16 is you can tell its closure rate by how fast it's closing on the RWR. And the amount of time that the missile has been locking you. You can get a pretty good guess of how much energy it has. A lot of it comes down to experience. Countermeasures are a great way to let everyone know where you are. Well, chaff, not so much. Flares, yes, but even flares and DCS are difficult to see unless somebody is decently close. Chaff isn't going to let anybody know where you are, at least in DCS it's not. Everybody from MY Squadron's hot. Tax Dollars and Maximus now hot for Gryphon Squadron. Let's jump back to take a look at what Maximus is doing. He's coming in headlong, 31,000 feet. Tax Dollars' work is also at 31,000 feet. They're sitting at Mach 1. Tax Dollars is much faster at Mach 1.2. He's at a much better launch speed than Maximus is. But Maximus is probably at a better defensive speed to make sure he doesn't rip off any of his wings. Did we just lose somebody? No. Mazer, what are you doing? You were so far out of the fight. Maybe he's acting as a pseudo AWACS for the F-16s. 120 now being launched from Moody Rider, and that is going to be tracking on Maximus. He may have been zoomed. No, he wasn't zoomed in, but he got the launch warning. He is now full defensive, turning away and diving towards the deck. Mach 1.4. You can hear his cockpit as Bitch and Betty tells him to pull up as he gets closer to the ground. There's the missile warning for him. So I guess he may have seen that launch from Moody Rider. He is now in a beam across the missile, and that missile's down to 1.4 Machs. Not going to be able to reach out and catch him. And I think he's actually may have lost him. So I think he's recognizing, hey, that missile's probably trashed. I can come back in here and try and make something happen. Maximus and Tax Dollars' work now both recommitting. Maximus is head on with Moody Rider. Oh, wrong button. He is head on with Moody Rider, and I think he's realized that, seeing a guy on his data link, thought, man, I am getting too close and I don't see this guy. I need to get the hell out of Dodge. So let's take a look at what Moody Rider is doing. Moody Rider has launched a couple of missiles. Here's Moody Rider's perspective. So Moody Rider launched a couple missiles. There is Maximus 7 miles ahead of him. There's a couple missiles headed in on Maximus. Jumping back to Maximus's point of view, Maximus is in full retreat. Phantom, meanwhile, is coming in to try and assist his compadre. And Phantom may have a decent shot. Phantom unleashing an AIM-54 here. There goes an AIM-54 from Phantom. I don't see a contrail. Where are these missiles going? Oh, there it is. Okay. So AIM-54 being unleashed from Phantom, and it's coming in on Moody Rider, and this thing's going to be decently close. And sorry, I didn't flip the cameras. Here comes the one on Moody Rider, and this thing's under power, still under power, 2,100 knots, under 2 miles, coming in on Moody Rider, and Moody Rider's not going into a notch. He's going to be taking a pound down, as he, I think, was totally unaware of that missile coming in on his aircraft as he was banked in towards it, and that missile flew in through his canopy, just straight through, domed the pilot, and getting hit by a several 1,000-pound missile is, you're gonna have a bad day, or maybe it's like a 1,000-pound missile. Bad times are gonna be had if that happens to you, and bad times were indeed had by Moody Riders. He gets hammered by an incoming telephone pole. So he is the first casualty. Still 4 remaining for Gryphon Squadron. We are down to 3 remaining for MY Squadron, and that was a great Dragon Bag scenario. Maximus recognizing, hey, I got in a bit too deep. I'm not going to waste any of my munitions. I'm just going to turn around, make Moody Rider think he's got something, and then have Phantom come in, swoop in, and get the kill. Well done by Gryphon Squadron. At least I'm assuming that's what their tactic was right there. Well done by them to attempt to make something happen. Well done. So both these guys are going back into a more defensive posture. Maximus getting re-picked up by a 120. We can take a look and see what he's doing. That's the 120 that's just kind of floating behind him at Mach 0.6. But this is the danger of missiles in these situations, is that you don't know their energy state, right? You can gauge it in the flanker by how fast your RWR is filling up. You can get a sense of how much energy that missile has left, but it's dangerous in situations like this because your RWR doesn't show you where enemy aircraft are. It only shows you the most pertinent threat or the most pertinent launch warning or missile launch warning. So you have to respect every missile launch that comes at you because you don't know if it's new or old. At least that's how I look at it. 120 coming in onto Phantom from Grand Viz. That's going to be trashed. Jerk and Phantom doing a great job in their F-14s, not overextending, trying to stay in that medium range envelope where their Phoenix are going to be most effective. Sorry, you guys couldn't see that. But Phantom and Jerk staying in that medium range envelope, doing a very good job of not overextending, getting in close with the F-16s and the F-18s. They're staying at medium range where the Tomcat does most of its work. AIM 54 now coming off from Jerk. He's merged now with Phantom. Can't tell who that AIM 54 is on. Looks like it's going to be on Wazer. Wazer responds with the 120. And the AIM 54 just has way, way more energy than the 120 as it comes in. Here is Wazer's perspective. Let's see if we can see that missile behind him. You can see it. He's going to line of sight it. So we saw a glimpse of that missile's contrail as it was coming in, but I think it's going to fly straight into this mountain. Yeah, it did. Flew straight into that mountain. No effect there. Another one was launched at somewhere back there, but it got line of sighted too. So great defensive flying there by Mwazer. Line of sighting both of those incoming threats. So again, teams after the casualty of Moody Rider, both resounding back into a more defensive posture. Nobody wanting to aggressively commit. We saw the two Tomcats get in within 10 to 15 miles, but seeing, hey, I don't want to get any closer than this, so good on them for recognizing that. Got to give them kudos for that. Now, Maximus launching a 27. I don't know why TACV's putting that as a PE, but that is coming in onto Freak. And Freak, let's just go to Maximus's point of view. So here's Maximus's point of view. He's in a 1v1 situation. Freak is cold. He's got 0.5 Mach advantage over Freak. AIM 54 coming from Phantom onto Mwazer. That's going to get line of sighted, I think. Yeah, that got line of sighted. So now Maximus is down here by himself, totally separated from everybody. Here comes another 27 ER from Maximus onto Freak. That's still from 6 miles. That's a long way. And now Maximus is in a full defensive posture, running away from Wazer and Grand Viz. But this is a good situation for Maximus to be able to create some Dragon Bag situations. And that ER got really close to Freak, but it is unsupported, so that's not going to be able to do anything. Jerk now launching an AIM 54 onto somebody. Can't tell who that's on. Looks like it's on Wazer. Missed him. Okay. Let's jump back to TAC view so you guys can see what's going on. This AIM 54 flew right over Mwazer. The 120 or the 27 ER that was on Freak missed him because it wasn't supported anymore by Maximus. So great job by both of these guys. One Freak in his defensive flying against Maximus, and the Maximus recognizing, hey, there's too many threats for me able to engage by myself. Great job on both sides of that coin. Still 4 pilots remaining for Gryphon Squadron. 3 still for MY Squadron. Freak has recommitted here against Maximus. So let's jump back to Maximus's point of view and see if he's going to be able to make anything happen with Freak. Don't see Freak yet. Multiple 120s coming in on Maximus from head on. And he doesn't launch a missile and goes back into a defensive position, now dragging those 120s. And they are 120Bs, so they are going to run out of energy quite quickly. So jumping back to TAC view to get the grand view of this, 120 now being launched from Wazer. And those are both going to be coming onto Tax Dollars at Work. Tax Dollars at Work should have an easy time defending those. He's fast enough, Mach 1.1. No problem there. Phantom now recommitting against these guys. And Wazer launches an AIM 7 against Phantom. An AIM 7 coming in here against Phantom. Now, it burns for quite some time. Wazer is keeping this launch. It's going to get line of sighted, though. And it flies headlong into the ground. But Mwazer continuing on in his aggressive flying against Phantom. We can see him here. Another aim 7. Is that going to make it over the hill? Did it hit him? Yes! Wow! That thing skirted the top of the hill. And we need to pause. I need to pause. Okay, I needed to pause there just to make sure we don't miss anything. That thing skirted the top of the hill. Let's take a look here and see what actually happened. The TAC view kept going, but it's because I'm not controlling it. So here it is. Here is, back up a little bit more. Here's Mwazer. He's using aim 7s. Interesting. But this thing flies right over the top of that hill. Just right over the top and then hits Phantom. I thought maybe he lost sight. I don't know. But that thing just barely got Phantom's aircraft. Phantom needed to recognize he was just on the treetops. Needed to get lower into that valley, but doesn't, and gets taken down. So great aggressive flying there, my Mwazer. Well done by him. So they equalize it at 3 pilots apiece. So let's hit play here, carry this on, and see how this conundrum continues. Mwazer here on the top right in a bank turn. Did he green out? Now he's merged with tax dollars at work. Oh, hold on. Somebody else died. It was Grandviz. Grandviz flew into the ground, but now we've got to merge coming between tax dollars and Mwazer. All right, so I can't put this on both views here, but we can watch it from Wazer's perspective, and they're in a merge, and we don't typically see these merges with missiles left. R-73 and guns being exchanged between tax dollars and Mwazer. Tax dollars, I think, has all the advantage here in this fight. Tax dollars coming in here. Here comes a R-73, and that hits him, but now we need to quickly switch to Maximus as he's unleashed all kinds of R-73s onto Freak, and he takes Freak down. So 2 simultaneous kills coming there. Tax dollars taking down well, actually 3. Grandviz flying into the ground. Tax dollars merging with Mwazer. Tax dollars takes Mwazer down, and then Maximus down to the south takes Freak down in an aggressive showmanship on all fronts. Man. Woo! Mago, he spent all 4 of his 73s. He did indeed. But, you know, when you're firing, you're forcing them to defend. And if they're defending, they can't be aggressive. So in my eyes, the flankers got more missiles. You might as well use them because there's no point in bringing them back. I mean, you're saving your tax dollars some money. But tax dollars are at work with tax dollars. So it makes sense. He's got to shoot all the things. But, man, Maximus is low on fuel. Look at that. He's got 800 kilograms of fuel left. He had to help get weight off the flanker in one circle. That's true, too. That is true, too. Every missile that came off made him a little bit more maneuverable. But I think the flanker is going to be pretty even with the F-18, and it's definitely got more power than the F-18 down low. So, well done by both of these guys on both of those fronts. Well done. Let's take a look at the TAC view as these guys RTB here. So first, let's look at the merge that comes in here between tax dollars and Mwazer. And tax dollars just starts his turn way earlier and way more aggressive. You can see how fast he makes it around the turn circle, and then he launches immediately. And when he launches, he does this several times. Every time he launches, he forces Mwazer to be defensive. Something else to consider is Mwazer on that last one may have been out of flares. Did we see any countermeasures? I think Mwazer was actually out of flares on this one because no countermeasures come off him. But that's the advantage of the J-11. It's got more missiles. You're just going to run the guy out of countermeasures, and he gets taken down. But now let's take a look at Maximus's point of view. So this is his first-person point of view, and he's just being aggressive on Freak. Freak is who he took down in round 1. Freak turns cold here, and I like that Maximus is just shooting to continually force Freak on the defensive. I really like that. So the first 27 gets spoofed. He's just going to continue. He needs to shoot now or earlier to stop Freak from recommitting. He shoots again, forces Freak to go defensive, puts an R-73 after that R-77, considering that Freak's probably going to defend the R-77 but not the R-73. So good decision there. I like that. But both of these guys just continually fire, forcing their opponent to be continually defensive and not be able to take the fight back to them. Well done. Well done. Great flying by both teams, but great aggressive flying coming from Gryphon Squadron. Got to give them maximum credit for that. Anyway, let's fast forward this. Are these guys going to have to RTB here? It looks like they are. Turn the volumes down here. But what did you guys think? Man, usually we don't see merges. I guess they didn't have to land. Usually we don't see merges with missiles left on the platforms. Usually they're really late. We're worried everybody's going to run out of fuel. It was really cool to see a merge with weapons still available and to have those weapons utilized during the merge. I really thought that was cool. Shobra was just too close and wrong angle to shoot them first and last service. That is true, Mago. He was using the R-73s to out of their firing envelope. However, as the defender, you don't necessarily know that, and as soon as you see an R-73 come off the rail, you're going to flare, regardless if it's launched in the correct angle or not. So those early R-73s could have opened the door for the last one to run him out of countermeasures. That's at least how I see that. So that brings us to the end of this one, ladies and gentlemen. Great match between Gryphon Squadron and MY Squadron. Nice short one today, an hour and 15 minutes, 2 rounds. Gryphon Squadron showing us a showcase, a great showcase of aggressive flying between their Tomcats and J-11s. Very well done by both teams. MY Squadron, I don't think was ready for the aggression that Gryphon Squadron came out and showcased, especially from those J-11 flankers. So great job by them. We are not streaming tomorrow. We will be back Monday. Monday's stream is going to be Harpia taking on Dragon Squadron. I skipped over this one accidentally. We are going back to revisit it. So Monday's stream is going to be Harpia against Dragon Squadron. And hopefully, yeah, Crash Site, John, no stream tomorrow because I need a break and I need to work on this 8-camera thing. So hopefully on Monday, it's hopefully. I can't guarantee it. Hopefully we will have 8 cameras at least on Monday. So I will be able to give everyone a dedicated camera. Now, first-person views, I don't think that's going to happen. No stream Saturday. I need to get this camera stuff in ready to go. So no stream Saturday. Hopefully I'll be able to get the 8 cameras going. Don't expect 8 dedicated first-person cameras because I don't have them. We're not going to be able to get those until we start getting to the late December matches and early January matches. So just be aware that that's going to happen, when that's going to happen. We are into December now. We're about a month behind. I'm continuing to try to catch up. We're going to make some massive strides as the league starts coming to an end here in January. There's far less matches taking place. So we're going to be catching up here rather quickly. Don Von Gong, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Gordo B with the 2 gifted sub to Hero Missy and Mr. Big Master. I may have called those out earlier, but thank you very much. Mago, what question? You saw my PM? Which PM? Just send it to me again, Mago. If I missed it, just send it to me again. I got 5 million things going on, and I have a tendency to forget things, and I'm just a mess. So, anyway. Monday is Harpia taking on Dragon Squadron Gold League again. Can't wait for the next big bit of flight action from the channel. Pre-flaring in the merge is vital. Definitely, Mark Ryan. Pre-flaring is definitely something you want to be doing. Which you said I should send, but no worries. I'm confused. Just send it to Discord. I forget, and I was probably meaning to respond to you, and then I didn't. So just send it to me then. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we'll have 8 cameras on Monday, but we will see. Stay safe in those virtual skies, and I will see you guys later.
The night beckons.